brought with us about 30, I'll tell you, about 26 students from our nursing program in Texas.
Hemos traído 26 estudiantes de enfermería de nuestra Universidad de Texas.
Your nursing students are to you, and they're just as important to us in the United States.
Y el hecho de que ellos estén aquí es tan importante como el hecho de que nosotros estemos aquí como en Estados Unidos.
We are going to be talking to you about our nursing universities, and we have really enjoyed being able to hear about your country, about nursing in your country, and about healthcare.
Estamos aquí para contarles un poco acerca de la universidad, nuestro programa de enfermería y los cursos que llevamos de la universidad.
It is very important that we as nurses be able to understand not only the problems and benefits of being a nurse in our own country, but also in other countries, so that we share many of the same problems.
Es muy importante para nosotros el compartir, porque no solamente hemos venido a estos países, sino hemos ido a otros países donde nos hemos podido percatar que hay los mismos problemas.
We can learn from each other. We come here to learn from you, and we hope that you can learn from us also.
Siempre es bueno aprender, aprendemos de ustedes y esperamos nosotros también aprender de ustedes.
I will first talk shortly a little bit about one of our organizations that we have at Texas Women's University by the name of the Center for Global Nursing Scholarship.
Les voy a contar un poco acerca de los programas que tenemos y uno de ellos es el programa de Centro Global de Enfermería.
And can you tell him to advance the slides? Okay, one more. Okay, right here. All right. Is there a way that he can connect with this? Okay. We will make sure that you get this PowerPoint so that you will have the web address and you'll be able to connect with our center and see all of the activities that we are involved in.
Nosotros esperamos y aseguramos poder hacerles llegar estas diapositivas de forma de que ustedes puedan hacer clic y ver, ¿no?, el programa.
Texas Women's University has been involved in global nursing since about the beginning of the 21st century. We started in the country of Mexico and had 2 universities where we collaborated on some projects together. And then after that, shortly after that, we started working also with the country of the Netherlands.
Bueno, este programa ha empezado pues en el año 2000 aproximadamente. Se inició en México, en 2 universidades con muchos proyectos que han tenido y actualmente se encuentran trabajando en la parte de Holanda.
The center has continued to grow, and as of 2012, we were recognized as an official center by our Board of Regents at Texas Women's University.
Y en el año 2012 han sido reconocidos oficialmente como un centro de investigación por la Universidad de Texas.
We now have about 12 different countries that we're involved with, and they're located throughout Southeast Asia, Europe, Africa, and most recently we're here in Peru.
Y actualmente estamos trabajando con 20 países ubicados entre Asia, Europa y África, y actualmente, bueno, el propósito es instalarse aquí en Perú.
You are probably wondering, well, what do we do? There are a number of things that we do with countries, and I was just going to show you on the next slide.
Oh, good. So, ella dice, ustedes estarán preguntando de qué organización estamos hablando, pues ahorita les voy a mostrar.
Okay. While they're connecting, I'll go ahead and just share with you that some of the things that we're involved with, it depends on the country or the university or the hospital within that country and what their needs are.
Cómo nosotros, este programa, cómo trabaja, va a depender del país, de la universidad, del hospital, de la universidad que haya la necesidad, ¿no?
The needs that these countries have are exactly the same as what our needs are in the United States and what your needs are here in Peru.
Entonces ven esas necesidades, tanto aquí como tanto en Estados Unidos como aquí en Perú hay necesidades.
I've already heard from the presentations this morning about your needs for curriculum.
He escuchado el día en la mañana acerca de sus necesidades y una de ellas es la currícula universitaria.
That is one of the ways that we help other countries, and I'll share a little bit more about that shortly. Other things that we do is we help with research, because if you've never done research before, we all know that it is not an easy process to know that we're doing it with rigor so that we have valid results that can improve the outcomes of our patients.
Entonces, como he escuchado estas necesidades, una de las cosas que el programa ayuda es esto, es la currícula universitaria, que les irá a enseñar un poco más adelante. Otra cosa que ellos ven dentro del programa es la investigación, que si bien es cierto, muchos de nosotros acá no investigamos, pero ellos tienen las pautas necesarias para darnos inicio a la investigación, así como investigaciones validadas y resultados válidos.
So for those of you who are seated in an area where you can see, can you draw up the website again? This is our website.
Esa es la página de internet.
This is what you'll be able to access, and it has several different pages in the website. If he can link onto the collaborative opportunities on the left-hand side. These are some of the activities that we're currently involved in or have done within the last year or two. One of them includes capacity building, which was also discussed earlier this morning. How do you get your faculty to the stage or the level where they have the expertise, not only the experience, but the expertise to educate our students in the way we want them educated?
Bueno, entonces dentro de la página que ustedes puedan copiarla, ven en la parte de la colaboración de oportunidades que nos dan, ¿no? Tienen toda una gama de listas, pero entre ellas también ven la parte de experiencia y experticia, ¿no? Entonces dentro de ese programa también incluye la experiencia que ellos puedan tener en lo que es investigación, y la experticia la dan y les podrían capacitar.
I also want to say, when we work with a country or with a school of nursing, for instance, we commit to long term. We realize it does not help to come somewhere for a week and help for 1 week. It needs to be a relationship where we're continuing to develop the skills of the individuals that we are collaborating with.
Entonces, cuando nosotros trabajamos con un país o una ciudad, nosotros buscamos un compromiso. No buscamos venir por una semana y conversar, sino buscamos un compromiso a largo plazo, una relación que va a continuar por el paso del tiempo.
So what brought us to Peru? If you could go back to the slides.
Entonces, ¿qué es lo que
The next slide. Next one. What brought us to the country of Peru? We had wanted to get more involved in South America. We didn't really have a presence here, and we felt it was very important because you're part of the Americas. You're family to us. That's why we wanted to be here.
Entonces, ¿qué nos trajo aquí a Perú? Bueno, nosotros hemos visto la necesidad de que tenemos que estar envueltos con países latinoamericanos o sudamericanos, y hemos visto las necesidades. Entonces, el hecho de que somos hermanos porque pertenecemos a las Américas nos ha traído aquí a Perú.
So one of your colleagues, Dr. Patrick Palmieri, who lives here in Lima, he happened to be on internet and wandered onto our website and contacted me. And through that contact, we have been able to start coming to Peru.
Bueno, y hicimos el contacto con el doctor Patrick Palmieri. Él estuvo buscando por internet nuevas alternativas y estrategias para promover la enfermería, Y bueno, hicimos el contacto con Patrick, con el doctor Patrick, y es el que estamos aquí ahora.
Because our time is short, I can't go into a lot of detail about what our center does, but I just want to highlight one aspect. And next slide.
Como no tengo mucho tiempo y no puedo decirle todo al respecto de cómo está conformado el programa, pero sí voy a decirle algunas cosas importantes.
And that will be nursing education. This particular slide shows us about the Millennium Development Goals that I'm sure you've all heard of and you've been working on, just like every country is working on those Millennium Development Goals. And because we started those goals back in the early 21st century, we have found great disparities in health across our nations and even within our nations. You probably have disparities just like we in the United States do between those who live in remote areas and those who live in large cities.
Entonces, lo que está diciendo es que una de las partes importantes que nos va a contar es acerca de la educación en la enfermería. Seguramente muchos de nosotros ya habremos escuchado acerca de esta página o de esta frase, ¿no? Las metas que buscamos en el milenio en la parte de enfermería, ¿no? Y nuestras metas que tenemos, porque si bien es cierto, todo esto va a ir aplicado para ciudades pequeñas como para poblaciones grandes.
And we also know that nursing education varies very much from country to country and also from nursing school to nursing school within a country. And nurses make up 65 to 75% of the healthcare providers in the world.
Entonces, como nosotros conocemos mucho acerca de lo que es la educación en la enfermería, la educación universitaria, y sabemos que más aproximadamente 65% al 75% de la población general requiere de enfermería.
As work was done on the MDGs, it also became apparent that nursing education was not the same everywhere, and that competencies were different, and that courses were different, and the role was different.
Entonces, lo que hemos podido percatar es que la enfermería no es igual en todos los países y en todas las ciudades. Hay diferentes competencias, diferentes roles, diferentes currículos, diferentes cursos.
Okay, next slide. And so the World Health Organization back in 2009 came out with a document that some of you may not be familiar with. It is their standards, their global standards for initial nursing education. Initial education for the profession of nurses and also for midwives. This is a very important document.
Bien, este es un documento muy importante de la Organización Mundial de la Salud, ¿no? Son los estándares globales para iniciar la educación profesional de enfermería y de obstetricia, que muchos de nosotros deberíamos conocer.
Next slide. So why do we need global standards? Number one, our patients are more ill than they used to be. They oftentimes have illnesses that we can now treat where before they used to die from these illnesses. So we have technology also to work with, but nurses need that expertise. We also have a need for more equitable access to good nursing care. So those are some of the reasons why they came out with these standards.
¿Y por qué necesitamos estos estándares globales? ¿Por qué? Porque necesitamos promover la tecnología, necesitamos trabajar con la experticia de la enfermera y porque necesitamos un buen acceso a la calidad de salud.
Next slide. In addition, part of the goals of the World Health Organization standards were to make sure that what we were teaching nurses was actually based on evidence, research. Because if we aren't doing it on research, we don't know if we're going to get the outcomes that we really should be getting for our patients, what the very best outcomes are.
Entonces, ¿cuáles son las metas que busca la Organización Mundial de la Salud acerca de estos estándares? Uno de ellos es la investigación basada en evidencia, porque teniendo el cuidado del paciente, nosotros tenemos que tener una base científica para poder promover esa investigación.
They also wanted us to understand that nursing education is a continuous process. It's not just for that initial 4 years when you're in a nursing program, but it's to go on for our whole life, our whole professional career. And as I've told many nurses and students that I teach, you are going to keep learning until you take your last breath.
Bueno, otra cosa muy importante para ellos es la educación continua. Es el proceso que toda la vida debemos nosotros como enfermeras seguir continuando, tanto profesionales como estudiantes, siempre seguir capacitándose. Y algo que ella siempre le dice a sus alumnos es que ellos deben seguir capacitándose hasta su último aliento de vida.
That education also needs to be focused on competencies. Does the nurse have the competencies they need to care for the needs of the population they're going to be caring for? In addition to that, as been mentioned earlier, collaboration. Collaboration and interdisciplinary work as we care for our patients is so important. We need to communicate with each other. We need to make sure that we're drawing on each other's strengths as we take care of these patients.
Otra parte importante son las competencias, ¿no? Ver a qué tipo de población nos enfocamos, ver los cuidados que tiene que ser interdisciplinario con todas las profesiones. Otra cosa importante es la comunicación, estar seguros, hacer fortaleza para poder sacar las competencias adelante en base al cuidado para el paciente.
Okay, skip the next slide and go to the one with the picture. Right there, okay. The standards are done, they're full of 5 different standards in one document. And so these include who we should admit to a program, who are the graduates that we are going to be receiving into the program, that we know they'll be successful because of criteria that they can meet to get into the program. Also, when our graduates graduate from the program, what are they competent to do? And so that is covered under the program graduate part. Also, program development and revision. What is the infrastructure that's needed? So they go into that with different criteria. And then the program curriculum, which is probably, I mean, they're all important, but that's an extremely important part of it also. What should be included in the curriculum? And then academic faculty and staff, what competencies do they need? What should their role be? What is their education? What is their experiential background?
Dentro de los estándares de la Organización Mundial de la Salud en base a enfermería y obstetricia, ven 5 llaves, ¿no? 5 áreas principales para estos estándares globales. Dentro de ellos están los programas para graduados. Ellas se preguntan, ¿qué competencias tienen esos profesionales que son graduados? En el segundo tenemos programas de desarrollo y revisión. El otro es para ella muy importante lo que es la currícula, ¿no? ¿Qué cursos se están enseñando? ¿En qué forma se están enseñando? ¿Cuál es la estructura? En la academia, en la parte de la facultad y el staff, ¿no? Los profesores, ¿quiénes son? ¿Qué tan capacitados están? Y el programa de admisión.
Pardon? Okay. I just wanted to mention one other thing before I turn the microphone over to Dr. Cesario, and that is that I had the honor to be invited by the government of Indonesia, which is the 4th largest country in the world, through their Ministry of Health, to help them look at their curricula in their country, comparing it to the 2009 World Health Organization global standards. We did a pilot of like 6 different nursing programs, representative of every kind of nursing program they had, and compared it to the World Health Organization document, developed a plan for them to implement throughout the whole country, because they're very serious about raising their standard to meet the World Health Organization standard.
Entonces, para hablar un poco del programa de admisión, le voy a pasar a la doctora Cesario, que ella es una muy importante doctora en enfermería, ha viajado hasta Indonesia a hablar con el presidente para formar la parte de la currícula, ya que es uno de los países más largos que tiene mayor población de salud, ¿no? donde les ayudan, donde ella ha apoyado en comparación al 2009 en el plan, la implementación de la currícula y cómo es que se va a ir desarrollando